Hello, everyone, and welcome into CrushTheStreet.com. I'm Kenneth Amaduri. I'm looking at the coin market cap chart right now, a list of coins, and many coins right now are having a brutal breakdown. And maybe it could be said that there's a much-needed enema that needed to go through the space. We'll see what our next guest has to say about that. But Bitcoin has actually had a nice move up to 17,000 a couple days ago and has pulled back pretty drastically in a very short period of time, now around 14K. Ripple pulled back below $2. Cardano is now down, and a few others. But we are seeing Bitcoin Cash move up, and of course Ethereum is continuing to move to higher highs and all-time highs, which is really exciting. I have on the line a former veterinarian and a satellite programmer, Randall from Crypto Love, and he's now a full-time YouTuber spreading the good word of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. His website is crypto-love.com, and if you have watched any of his videos, you can see instantly why his channel is absolutely exploding. He's a great communicator, and we're going to get educated today by Crypto Love. Randall, thanks for coming on Crush the Street.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kenneth. It's a pleasure.
Well, if you wouldn't mind, please just tell us how you got involved with cryptocurrencies. It's kind of crazy. I mean, the people that have been the veterans are like 5 years old. I mean, and unlike any other industry, it's usually like 20, 30-year history, right? But I mean, like a newcomer is like 1 week, right? And a veteran is like just what, a year, maybe 6 months. But anyways, just tell us about like your background, how you got involved with cryptocurrencies, and why you're so passionate about it.
Absolutely. So I guess it started at the beginning of this year. A very trusted friend told me about Bitcoin, and he said, listen, you got to get in on this. If you hold one Bitcoin, you're going to be independently wealthy in the future. And I said, wow, I got to check this out. So I started, that day, I scrapped together all the information I could find to figure out how to buy a Bitcoin, because I had no idea what I was doing. And started buying Bitcoin, started learning about cryptocurrencies, and really it became an all-consuming passion. I mean, I was working 60 hours a week as a veterinarian, working as an emergency vet, and in my spare time, all I was doing was researching cryptocurrencies, talking to people about cryptocurrencies, watching YouTube videos about cryptos. And so I have to thank Cam from Crypto Daily, because I saw him having a fun time making videos, and I was like, man, I really got to try that. So I just started making a video every day. I knew in the beginning they were going to be terrible, but I just kept doing it every day. And eventually the channel really started picking up steam. And the great thing about it is I was just doing things I was doing on normally I would be doing them anyways, but I was just doing it and sharing with people on YouTube, and everyone really responded to it and enjoyed watching it.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, congratulations on that. And I mean, you're a testament to how cryptocurrency has set you free from that 60 hours, a week doing a job. But I'm sure you still love, animals and do it. I'm sure you got involved doing that because you liked doing that work, right?
Well, yes and no. It's kind of a funny story. So I was a satellite programmer for a while, doing contract work for NASA. And I didn't like being inside all day, so I'd always wanted to be a veterinarian. I was like, I really want to be a cow vet. But what most people don't know, and what they don't tell you in schools, because they just want to get you in there and take your money from you, what they don't tell you is that going to vet school costs well over $200,000 in the U.S., and the average salary is less than $65,000 a year. So they don't exactly tell you that it's kind of slavery, and the only way for me to really pay off my loans and live a moderate lifestyle was to actually work as an emergency vet. So that's one of the highest paid veterinary professions. I became good at it. I somewhat enjoyed it, but it really wasn't my passion. I wanted to be like a cow vet working on dairy farms. And really, it was actually the pain from that. So like going through so much pain there and just being stuck with it for so long that motivated me to actually try whatever I could do to get out of it. Like from the time I became a vet, I was doing real estate wholesaling for a long time during 2008, during the housing bubble there. I was doing internet marketing for a while, and then all those things I did okay as a side income, but it wasn't until the YouTube channel where I'm actually able to really break free from it.
Well, again, congratulations. So here, I want to jump around here from some different news, some different topics for this call.
Sure.
We had recent news that there's a Kodak coin releasing a cryptocurrency, and the price skyrocketed. And I found that really interesting because Kodak is pretty much way out of its heyday. I mean, now everyone's just using their iPhone and Samsung phones. And just this alone has sparked a fire that has essentially burnt down the forest. I mean, this coin is going pretty crazy. And I mean, could you imagine if they announced a Facebook coin and put that out there, and what sort of excitement would surround that? But I guess just from like a perspective right now on what's going on in the ICO space, and coins that are dead, that are going crazy, that were dead, that are going crazy, and just these new ones coming online. How long can this euphoria go for?
I mean, it's definitely something where I think everybody inside the crypto sphere expects a pullback of some sort. But I mean, it's tough because right now, not that many people are in cryptocurrencies. More and more people are adopting it, but really not that many people are in. And even when you look at the world in general, I think it's like 60% of the world doesn't have access to the internet. I mean, that may or may not be that accurate. 40 to 60% doesn't have access to the internet. So this is a whole bunch of unbanked people in the world. They may not have that much money, but when you put all of them together, that's a lot of the money that can come into cryptocurrencies. So I think over the next few years, we're going to see a lot of people coming into cryptocurrencies. Now, it may be where there's a bubble, and that's something that I have no idea, because when you're inside a bubble, you're never able to see it. So I accept that that's possible. But just this past year, in 2017, ICOs, which are one of the most lucrative ways to invest in cryptocurrencies, because the average returns on ICOs is 1,370%. And that's the average return. So that's like, there are ones that are blowing that out that are like 250,000% returns. But ICOs are definitely the most lucrative. And in 2017, ICOs raised $4 billion, which may sound like a lot, but IPOs raised $188 billion. So there's a big differential there. And I think once big businesses start to realize the potential of the blockchain, which they're starting to do when we see companies like Kodak moving in, when we're seeing like Kick Messenger, Telegram is having a huge ICO. So when we're seeing big businesses start to move into the crypto space, I think a lot of the money is going to follow them in there. And I mean, it's possible that it could keep on going like this. But yeah, people who have been in it for a while, we look at this, we see the current total market cap of almost $1 trillion, and we're like, wow, it was, we were pushing $200 billion a few months ago, and that was outrageous.
Yeah, and I guess for us bulls, when we look at all the fiat currency, the problems in the government, and just the need for this space in general, it's like an aquifer that's bursting, and the dam bursting is just filling up that container that's next to it, and that's different than just looking at the chart and expecting it to crash, because that container is just filling up the water to where it's supposed to be. And that, for me, has justified the exponential rise that we've seen in many of these charts. But I guess it's just the new coins. How many of these new coins can continue to go? And I suppose that'll be a sign of when this bubble is starting to slow down, is when we start to see money or new ventures pop up and them start to have trouble raising money the way we've seen these 1,000% returns in these older ICOs, or dead coins that were dead and now just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think there's so many people coming into the market every day now. Like a few of the largest exchanges had to shut down because they were having over 250,000 new users apply to trade on those exchanges every day. So the more people that come into the market, the more support there's going to be. And one of my favorite, the CEO of one of my favorite cryptos, Lisk, Max Kordek, he was talking about ICOs, and he's saying right now we're having a lot of ICOs where it's like 10 a day, but he foresees in the future it's probably going to be closer to 1,000 a day, maybe even more than that. And really, with all these other large platforms like Ethereum coming out, stuff like Lisk, EOS, Neo, Cardano, all these things that can have ICOs built on top of them, that can have decentralized applications, once that comes out, then any business who wants to can really come onto the blockchain.
Do you anticipate or expect any stabilizers to come into the crypto space that settles volatility, or will it just be time itself?
Yeah, I think it's something that'll take time. Because with cryptocurrencies, it's really hard to regulate them. Like, I had a live stream last night on my channel because there was, we just talk about stuff, and there was an article about a Harvard professor saying how the governments are going to come and regulate cryptocurrencies. And it's a really hard concept to verifiably prove because, what world government is going to regulate all of cryptocurrency? There is no one world government. China stepped in a while ago and they tried to regulate ICOs, and the price of Chinese cryptos went down for a while, but now they're back up higher than they've ever been. And even if the U.S. government tried to step in, I'm not sure if they could really regulate it, and I'm not sure if people want it to be regulated because right now we see this volatility of Bitcoin versus U.S. dollar or cryptocurrencies versus U.S. dollar. But I think in the future it's going to be a world of cryptocurrencies. So the volatility will be versus Bitcoin instead of versus U.S. dollar or something like that.
Sure. All right. Well, something that I've been thinking about, and I know there was some recent news last year or so, with high frequency trading or these big boys that can essentially game the system with the large spreads on these exchanges. And we know that happens in the stock market with fractions of a penny, with the big companies, making millions of dollars. But I mean, how easy is it to program a computer with the right resources, to make millions of dollars in the crypto space? And do you see this being a big factor going forward?
I mean, honestly, I think that the trading bot strategy is a bit outside of my scope of knowledge. From one trader that I've spoken with, he says that the only people who make money off of trading bots are the people who sell them. But I mean, that's just an N of one. I don't actually know if they're sustainable, if they can make that much money. I do know that with a lot of the smaller market cap coins, it's definitely very easy for these people, we call them whales, to pump and dump. So they can just buy up a whole bunch, the price shoots up, and then they sell it at that higher price. And so they're able to manipulate the market in that way. I think as the overall market cap grows, it'll be more and more difficult for them to do that. But that's something that's definitely being done right now in cryptocurrencies. And because it's unregulated, they can kind of go ahead and do that.
I know you said trading bots, the only people making money are the people that sell them. But I actually know quite a few people making money just trading cryptocurrency, trading in and out of them. And I know that's a hot thing right now. And I know that was a very big thing in the .com era as well. Is seeing multitudes of people making a lot of money trading a sign of a coming bubble, and you expect this to happen forever or eventually slow down, where there's just a lot of people trading and making good money trading cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, so definitely having people making a lot of money not proportionate to their education or their financial backing, definitely that is one of the signs of a coming bubble. So, I see that stuff. I have people every day who talk to me saying how, I bought this cryptocurrency. They'll say like Litcoin, they can't even pronounce the name, and and they'll be like, and I made $500. I'm just going to throw my money at these penny ones because they're bound to go up. And then they do go up, and they're like, see, I'm a genius trader. And it's, that kind of stuff scares me a little bit because, yeah, that's definitely the sign of a bubble.
Well, you recently did a video on Lunyr, and I found it very interesting, and just as, I guess, a testament to where technology is going. And I would love for you to just explain it to the audience what it is. I'm sure some people know about it and many people don't. But, just 21st century technology in the crypto space, a combination between steemit and Wikipedia. Just let's get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so Lunyr is a very, very interesting concept. It's basically an incentivized Wikipedia on the blockchain. So they're aiming to put all of the world's knowledge on the blockchain, and they're aiming to incentivize people to produce that content and also to verify that content to make sure that it's true. So to check the resources or the references. And what they're aiming to do to it, so that's part of it, putting all the world's knowledge on the blockchain. The second part of it that's mind-blowing to me is they're looking to create decentralized applications where any developer in artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality can basically access this information for whatever they're doing. And I've read a book called Ready Player One, which is basically about how in the future we live in virtual reality, we work in virtual reality. And this is one platform that is making all of that possible. And then another part of Lunyr is, you just look at the valuation of Lunyr. I think it's like $100 million market cap, and the value of Wikipedia is in the tens of billions of dollars. Steemit is $1.4 billion. And right now, Lunyr is a lot lower than that, and they also have a very, very limited supply of coins. It's like 2.7 million. So all of those factors, I think this is a very interesting project, one definitely worth looking at.
It's something you kind of touched on. We did a documentary on just like the college bubble, the college meltdown, and just how it's so insane that traditional, conventional education continues to be at all-time highs in terms of price, while education and information is as free and available as ever. And the dichotomy of that is just, mind-blowing. And this is just another example of how the free market is putting out resources for people to access information. I'm just, and just on that topic, do you have any thoughts of the future of education going forward for, younger people and what you expect? I mean, do you expect the conventional system to be the same in 20 years from now?
Yeah, I sure hope that it's not. I forget who it was. I think it was like Ben Franklin or someone who said, like, I never want my education to interfere with my learning. And, I've been through years and years of schooling. I've done, undergrad, I've done vet school and everything like that. And really, that's not where I learned anything substantial in life. All that is theory. It's really not that useful when you get out there and you start doing stuff. The best education is actually doing work, trying things, failing miserably at them, and then adjusting. It's just putting in action and adjusting. And I hope for most people that's the type of education that the world takes. But even stuff like Khan Academy, where they work more on, it's not really in a classroom, they work more on just working the problems out when they're together, and then they can watch the videos afterwards. I think something like that is helpful. But I really think that, like, once people understand that, like, this world is something that you can really create, your life is something that you really have the power to create whatever you want, and then you can choose an education pathway to actually go and do that stuff. I think when that happens, that'll be really transformative for the world. So I hope that's the way that the world is going.
All right, so you mentioned AI, and this is something that I've been, dabbling in, just researching, listening to podcasts on, and I'm just curious, what are your thoughts going forward? Robots and artificial intelligence and robots that can learn, not just be pre-programmed, but actually learn from its environment. I mean, the implications going forward and people's jobs. A lot of people are worried about being irrelevant, and one person owning 500,000 robots, or maybe one big company owning 500,000 robots. Are these real concerns, or just any thoughts on that?
I mean, they're absolutely real concerns in terms of continuing the lifestyle that we live now as human beings. But if there's one thing that's constant in the world, it's change. So like things are always going to change. I think I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'll admit that freely. I think if we do develop a self-learning AI, that's going to be the end of human beings as we know it, because they're going to do what's in the best interest of everything in the world or in the universe, and that'll be getting rid of people because we destroy things. So I think in that sense, if that happens, we're in trouble. Is that possible to happen? I don't exactly know. But I think it's a very interesting area. I'm almost certain that's the way that the future is going with artificial intelligence, with virtual reality. I reviewed a crypto called Deep Brain Chain. They are one of the top AI companies in the world. They're just basically putting their whole company on the blockchain so they can take advantage of the inexpensive supercomputing power of the blockchain. And they've done stuff like they invented the technology behind Siri about 6 months before Apple did. They invented the technology behind Alexa, the voice recognition, about 6 months before Amazon did. So, and they've won one of the top AI competitions in the world. And so they're putting that stuff on the blockchain. I definitely think that's going to help shoot stuff forward very quickly.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And anyone who is weary about or doesn't believe that these computers are able to learn, you should go and check out this article. We'll put it in the description area. AI beats the world best player at Go. And just check that out, because it's a really fascinating just progression of a computer that learns how to beat someone at a game that has more possibilities than like atoms in the world. So it's not pre-programmed. They had to learn it. And the implications of that is absolutely crazy. And what you said about computers taking over people, I've gone down that rabbit hole. And if the computer's goal is to be efficient, efficiency would mean less cars on the road. And this is just one practical example. And one way to get from point A to point B would to have less cars on the road. And how do you do that? Well, maybe you start killing people or getting cars off the road. That's just one example that I've actually thought of. So I'm with you there, Randall. I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist myself, and I attribute that also to why I've invested in Bitcoin and made some money there too. So when people poke at me for being a conspiracy theorist, I'm like, hey, well, you know what? I've made some money in that space too. So
financial benefits.
But anyways, all right, let's see. I got another thing that I wanted to ask you about here. Okay, so the cease and desist letter from Texas to Bitconnect. I know a lot of people think Bitconnect is a scam. I have not invested a dime in Bitconnect, and it seems like a scam to me. People who have and are making money in it, get in, get out. It doesn't bother me at all if it is a scam. I think there's obviously opportunities to make money regardless. But any thoughts on Bitconnect and what Texas is trying to do in the crypto space? I mean, in this decentralized world, sending a letter to another continent and expecting them to comply?
Yeah, I hope they do something, because Bitconnect is clearly a Ponzi scheme. I've spoken with people who make a lot of money from Bitconnect, and they know it's a Ponzi scheme. They just got in way before a lot of other people. And then I know some friends' parents who wanted to get into Bitcoin and accidentally got into Bitconnect, and they can't get their money out of it. Every time they go to transfer their Bitcoin out of Bitconnect, the website crashes. So it's very clearly a Ponzi scheme to anyone who has been in cryptocurrencies for a while. I think it just appeals to the type of people who want to make a dollar. They know there's a lot of risk in it. They want to make a dollar regardless of whether it benefits other people or not. So I do hope that Texas does help to get rid of that, because when I have a strong feeling that when Bitconnect falls, which it will, we just don't know when, but when it falls, it's going to tarnish the reputation of all cryptocurrencies. It's going to happen, because as soon as that happens, it's going to be on every national news network, and they'll be saying, see, we knew these cryptocurrencies were a scam, we knew Bitconnect was a scam, or we knew Bitcoin was a scam, and all that stuff, and that's not true. It's just, one bad apple, unfortunately, gets reflected on everyone else. So I think the sooner they can take it down, the sooner they can get it out of there, the better, because that's just going to benefit everybody else in the crypto space.
And let's get your thoughts on Ethereum hitting all-time high after all-time high, especially as we're seeing a lot of these other cryptos correct here.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of talk about what's going on. I mean, Ethereum has had slow and steady growth since I've got into cryptocurrencies. It is the blockchain that all of the ICOs are coming out on, so they're pretty much all ERC20 tokens. So definitely the platform that has a lot of other ICOs come out on it is going to do well. The one problem that Ethereum's facing right now is scalability issues. They have solutions that they're working on with Raiden Network to help address those scalability issues, but I know just using the Ethereum network, it's a lot slower. You have to pay more in gas. Now, it's not as much as you have to pay to transact in Bitcoin, for example, but I think aside the fact, right now it's facing some very big scaling challenges. Now, the price being at all-time highs and people talking about the flippening, so Ethereum surpassing Bitcoin in terms of total market cap, that's what everybody's questioning. That's what everybody's looking at right now. I think that this is just my personal opinion, but I think Ethereum has a lot of challenges to come up just because they have a lot of other projects biting on their heels, like Neo, like EOS, like Lisk, like Cardano. All of these are aiming to overtake Ethereum. So it's going to, in the next few years, it's definitely going to have some challenges coming up.
All right, Randall, let's get your thoughts on the big mama, Bitcoin. What do you think is happening long term? Obviously, Bitcoin is dealing with scaling issues and very high fees. Some businesses are removing it off their platforms because of the impracticality of it. And, to be fair, this was one of the reasons why, the early adopters of Bitcoin, like Bitcoin, was that you can transfer money around the world free, or essentially free, or very, very cheap. And it's not that anymore. And we're justifying that, calling it the gold, the wealth storage vehicle. Now, I love Bitcoin and I hold Bitcoin and I believe in it, but these are real concerns that people have, and I would attribute these concerns to why we've seen a lot of these other altcoins or other digital assets creep up on Bitcoin's dominance.
Yeah, so definitely the price of Bitcoin right now and the expense in transacting in Bitcoin, yes, those make other people want to buy cryptocurrencies. I still am a huge fan of Bitcoin. I hold Bitcoin, and I think that in the long run, Bitcoin is the ticket to the moon. There's a chart that I show everyone on my website. It's an article on Cointelegraph called Maximizing Altcoin Trading Strategies or something along those lines. But basically, looking at Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies in days since launch on a logarithmic scale, the only one consistently going up is Bitcoin. All of the cryptocurrencies trend downward, and while you can make significant gains in holding cryptocurrencies from ICO, if you buy them once they're on the markets, oftentimes it's very difficult. So I strongly believe that Bitcoin is a store of wealth, is digital gold. I don't think the slow transactions, the costly transactions are that big of an issue because it's not something that's meant to be used for every day. It's something that's meant to be used as a store of value. Just like nobody goes around with gold to buy things, but they hold gold because it's a store of value. And if somebody wants to go pay with something very quickly, they can go use Litecoin or Vertcoin or any one of the other transactional currencies out there that work near instantaneously with very low fees, but they can still store their money in Bitcoin. That's the way that I see it. Right now, I think there's a lot of new people getting into cryptocurrencies, and they're favoring the altcoins, especially the less than $1 ones that almost don't exist anymore. So I call this the Ripple effect because Ripple went up a whole bunch, and then every other altcoin under $1 just shoots up in price because everybody's like, it's so cheap, I've got to be able to make money on this. I think once Bitcoin corrects and once the overall market corrects and those things start crashing and the people who just got in unfortunately lose some money, I think there will be a lot less confidence in these smaller projects, and potentially confidence will be restored into Bitcoin or not. I mean, we'll have to see what happens.
All right, Randall, crypto love. If people want to learn more about what you do, please let them know about your website, your channel, and how they can follow you.
Sure. So the best way would just be to go to YouTube and search for Crypto Love. Every day I post a video about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, either talking about what's going on in the market those days or talking about different cryptos that I tend to like. I also live stream every Tuesday night. Or if you want, you can go check out the website, crypto-love.com. We also have all the social media stuff set up. So however you want to find me, it's just a fun community where I aim to add value to the world by sharing the awesomeness of Bitcoin and cryptos.
Well, thanks, Randall, for coming on Crush the Street. It was an honor having you on, and thanks for all the information that you shared with us today.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much.